she's about 19, and she's had a ton of bad experiences in her life. And I've worked with her one time, and a little boy who's never been around horses before has been working with her a little bit since. And part of her problem is that she doesn't think bad things are going to happen. She's dead convinced because she's had 19 years of bad experiences. So a lot of horses don't want you to catch them because they aren't really sure what's going to happen, and so they run because they're nervous. This is a horse that runs because she knows what's going to happen, and she knows it's not going to be good. So the approach that you would use with a horse like this is different than you would use with a horse who just is concerned and worried that something might happen. So over here, with Kiwi, you're overcoming a lot of history. So Kiwi's temperament is she tends to be an emotional extrovert. Like, exactly what she's thinking is pretty much written all over her face. Like, this face right here is like, you know, I'm really worried, I'm really afraid to touch you, and I'm really mad about being worried. So she's like, I need to just get over it, but I can't. And so with a horse like this, what you want to do is a lot of stuff that brings her towards you with no pressure. So another thing with a horse who tends to wear their emotions on the outside, you want face-to-face contact a lot of time. With a horse that wears their emotions on the inside, you need to turn your energy centers a little bit away from them so they're not getting hit so much. So with a horse that's kind of introverted, you want to turn a little bit like this and not have just so much like force coming at them. A horse like this needs that amount of honesty. They want to know exactly what you're thinking. So it's more of a front-to-front kind of interaction. So, good girl. This face that you see right here, most people would think, well, this horse is gonna bite me. Like, that's a mean face, but it's not. She wants to be good so badly that she's upsetting herself by trying. And so this face is just like, I want to be able to do it so bad. So, and you can hear her snorting a little bit. Anytime they're breathing kind of loud, like, their muscles are so tight over their diaphragm that they're not taking full breaths. And so that little bit of, well, the breathing that you hear can give you a good indication of whether the ears mean she's nervous or the ears mean that she's angry. Because a horse that's angry isn't going to breathe a lot. So the first thing that I'm going to do with Kiwi is just reinforce getting her attention and that coming towards me. So walking around to the horse's hip and tail brings the horse's eyes toward you. So I just kind of look at her tail a little bit, and already she knows, okay, well, you're not going to feed me, you're going to catch me, because now you actually want something. So now that she's looking at me, what I have to do is say, yeah, I am going to catch you, because she appreciates the honesty, because she's an emotional extrovert horse. But I have to, if your horse needs that honesty, you have to give it to him. Because otherwise it'll bite you on the butt later. So, now that I've got Kiwi looking at me, this is called draw, when you get the horse to like turn, face, and then come towards you. And you just want to picture that you've got a string tied to you and tied to her. And wherever you go, it should put a little bit of tug on her and make her come towards you. So, and how she gets close and then she turns her head to the side. One, she can't see me very well, and two, she doesn't really want to fully commit. So this kind of like, she can't really quite.
How long have you had
trust me? Kiwi's been here for 2 or 3 years. I mean, a while.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And she's not real adoptable because of her hind legs. She's got some conformation issues that might have been aggravated by getting into a toxic weed at one point. So she's not trained to be ridden and probably couldn't actually support the weight. So that defensiveness is fear. And like I would say 90%, maybe 98% of aggression that you'll see in horses is actually fear. It's like, the tough guy who's secretly insecure. And so usually if you're worried about the horse hurting you, instead of saying, now you better back down, do the opposite and go, oh, I'm really sorry you feel that way. And that means a lot to them that you actually know. So I can get her coming now, but trying to put a halter on her isn't going to actually make a lot of sense, because do I really want this right next to me all the time? I mean, she could take me with the rope as much as I could take her. So I'm not really interested in that at this point. What I should instead do is just work on the fear issues, which would be touching her. So one way to do that is you hold a hand out here as a target, touch the cheek, and click. And boy, she was like, oh, don't touch me. That was very dangerous. So you can since I noticed that was a pretty big deal, I'm going to have the treat more ready. So I put some grain in my hand like this and I close it. And what I do is wait for it. I want her to bring her face more to my hand than the other way around. So what I want to do is get it set up so that if she wants to touch the hand with the grain to earn the treat, she has to happen to brush this hand. So it would be like that. Come on. Come on. I'm going to try on the other cheek and see if that's any better. So that wasn't exactly what I wanted, but that was all she could offer. So that's what I took. And the reason that we're teaching all you guys how to catch these horses is because this isn't just about catching. This is about dealing with horses with all kinds of trauma. You'll see parallels between this and everything else that you want to teach a horse, from having its feet picked up to wearing a saddle. Work with me here. So basically what she was telling me right there is, I don't know if you guys could see it, but just for a second she opened her shoulder like that. And that's her way. You'll see horses do that all the time. When you're going to catch a horse and then they go like that, that's them saying, well, try this part because I just can't get past my face. And, generally the anticipation of contact is actually worse than the contact itself. So every now and then it makes sense to just do a movement quickly, get the hand on them, let them know that they're going to survive. This one, believe it or not, is hard to catch too.